Pompey Sound, your hourly update from Fratton Park, sponsored by Piglet's Pantry, the home of award-winning and handmade food on the South Coast.
Liam Manning, Bristol City's manager, has hinted at his desire to bring Rob Atkinson back into the fold following the defender's loan stint at Portsmouth. Fresh off his team's heartbreaking playoff semi-final loss to Sheffield United, Manning reflected on the club's journey since he took the reins last November and shared his thoughts about the upcoming season. "Rob's still our player, that's the bottom line," Manning told BBC Radio Bristol's Sound of the City. "I'm planning to catch up with him soon, first for a quick chat to clear the air, then we'll sit down properly to discuss how his loan spell went." Atkinson found himself surplus to requirements earlier in the season, failing to crack the first team behind George Tanner, Rob Dickie and Zach Viner. His move to struggling Portsmouth proved a smart one though, as he racked up 14 appearances and netted twice against Derby County, helping Pompey secure their championship status with games to spare. "Seeing him get regular playing time was great, and he really made the most of it," Manning admitted. "Looking back, we probably could have used him here, but that's football. I'm expecting him back with us."
Interesting to hear him say, clear the air. He's also said Atkinson remains a Bristol City player unless anything changes. Here's what Atkinson himself has to say.
"I have absolutely no idea what's going to happen. I'm going to have to wait and see how it pans out and what Bristol City want to do with me. I love Bristol City as a club and I have loved my time there, but ultimately I only have 1 year left, and that has to factor into my decision-making as well. There's a lot of things which need to happen. Truthfully, I am very fortunate. It's not nice to have that uncertainty, but it's nice to be wanted. Whatever happens, I'm sure I will be happy. Pompey have told me they want me to stay, which is honestly flattering. If, in the future, I'm a Portsmouth Football Club player, I will be absolutely buzzing. If I'm at Bristol City, I will be happy as well. I don't really see a scenario where I won't be happy, but I would like it sorted. I don't want that uncertainty. I want to relax and get on with my football without having to worry about where my future lies. If it doesn't work out at Bristol City, and for whatever reason they don't want me anymore, I will be more than happy to play for Pompey again. The way I see it, it's up to Bristol City whether they want to keep me or not."
You've got to read between the lines, haven't you? But there he is saying that if he's at Pompey next season, he's going to be buzzing. If he's at Bristol City next season, he's going to be happy. I mean, you can spot the difference between those two emotions, can't you? Buzzing at Pompey, happy at Bristol. Then we've got this business about clearing the air. I believe Bristol City's manager arrived in November last year, and I think Atkinson perceives himself as being bottom of the pile of central defenders that they have there. And if that's the case, then that certainly favours things for Pompey, doesn't it? But Bristol City aren't going to want to give him away. They've got another year on his contract. That means he could walk as a 29-year-old at the end of next season. But Pompey would like him now to consolidate our squad and our chances of being a more than respectable mid-table, possibly mid-table plus side next season, which is what so many of us are expecting. And we are learning, actually, that our expectations can be delivered by the people who are now running Portsmouth Football Club, which is absolutely fantastic. And Atkinson, the club has made it no secret whatsoever that they want him. And they often get what they want. There's going to be a lot of toing and froing, a lot of twists and turns. And there's this phrase that Rich Hughes is starting to use a lot, which we like, which is there are a lot of moving parts. But let's hope that they all move in the right direction for us.
Although it's definitely not cricket to wish turmoil on other clubs, on the occasions when that turmoil could work out in Pompey's favour, we are quietly all for it. So spare a thought that Pompey might do well from the topsy-turvy traumas going on at Hull City. Hard on the heels of a day of great celebration from securing a 1-1 draw at Fratton Park on the last day of the season, they stayed up by the skin of their teeth, also known as goal difference, only to be immediately plunged into uncertainty with the sacking of their manager. And Hull City's fractious state spreads out far and wide as their owner Akun Alakali tries to pour oil on the troubled waters of his English club. It turns out he is embroiled in an internal power struggle at the Turkish giant Fenerbahce, where he is vice-chair. The simple reason that Pompey fans are entitled to fan the flames of their distress from afar is, of course, because Hull may decide to restructure their salary system, which would mean they would be open to offers for some of their more expensive players. Obviously, we are talking about Abu Kamara. Observers point out that his career took a flying leap forward at Fratton Park and appears to have hit the buffers at Hull. It seems amongst Pompey fans that there is an even stronger sentiment for Kamara to return than Alex Robertson, who put a few noses out of joint by appearing to reject Pompey, whereas the feeling amongst many fans is that Kamara went to Hull somewhat reluctantly. Either way, we watch with interest as Hull City shake, rattle and roll their way towards the transfer window.
It's a universal quirk of human nature that extends well into the world of football, that when we are deprived of something that we want it even more. And so a lot of Pompey fans really wanted Kamara to stay. They really wanted Robertson to stay as well. But Kamara, I think it's fair to say, was wanted by more and to a greater degree than Alex Robertson, although I think it's fair to say we would benefit from having both of them back. But it might be one or the other, or it might be neither. But in the case of Kamara, what I think gets Pompey fans drooling, of course, is the notion of having Josh Murphy going at them down the left and Abu Kamara going at them down the right. And with Colby Bishop in the middle and Callum Lang arriving, as he does, spot on schedule, so cleverly, we'll be scoring goals. And it's goals that win games. Good defending is crucial. And if you keep a clean sheet, then all you've got to do is turn up front, and a 0-0 draw often will do you. But a win's even better. And to win, you've got to score goals. And if they score a couple, you've got to score 3 if you're going to get those 3 points. So we need to be more prolific. We know that. We've known that for a long time. But who can we get up front to score the extra goals that we need? We now know, of course, as if we needed any reminding, that Colby Bishop remains a prolific goal scorer. He's brilliant. And if we get a full season out of him next season, and it's everything crossed that we do, then there's 20 goals probably in the bag. But we need more than that. So we know that Josh can do it. And we know that Matt Ritchie and Callum Lang can do it, but not as effectively and in the same numbers as Abu Kamara. But he's going to be expensive. What would be the advantages of taking him over another player who is similarly rated and similarly priced? We know him inside out. And he knows the city inside out. He knows the setup. He knows where the toilets are. When he arrives at Fratton Park, he doesn't have to think and wonder, wait a minute, and, where's my locker, where's my peg, where do I go? Apparently it is a labyrinth backstage down there, with teams occasionally getting lost on their way to the pitch at 5-3. It will be familiar ground for him, and he will know the people, and he'll know and trust the coaching staff, and in particular John Messino. So there are a lot of pluses, boxes being ticked next to the name Abu Kamara, but beauty of good old transfer windows, it hasn't started yet. It won't start for a bit. It'll start and then it will stop, and it goes into abeyance, doesn't it, for a week or so, due to some international club World Cup or something that I'm afraid I haven't got my head round yet, and I don't know anybody who has, but we'll see. The transfer window then opens up again after that for a stretch of time through until 7 o'clock on September the 1st. And we will fairly soon get our customary warning from Andy Cullen that we mustn't expect too much activity until towards the end of the window, for reasons which he doesn't have to repeat, but he will, because he's a thorough man, and he tells it like it is. So here we go. Hull, bit all over the place. That might benefit us. And whilst, as I say, we wish no ill on other clubs, if they've got a bit of a problem at Hull that leads to a bit of a shake-up there, new manager might not take a liking to Kamara. Managers often want to bring their own people in. The club itself seems to have an instability about it, which isn't going to make it favourable to Kamara. We don't know what's in his contract about leaving. But that will become clear either when the day it's announced that he's coming back, and we won't hear anything about it for certain until that's announced, or we get to 5 minutes past 7 on September the 1st and nothing. And nothing. I'm afraid my money's on nothing, but there, we'll see.
Leicester City's rollercoaster ride continues as they face fresh Premier League charges over alleged financial breaches from their 2023-24 Championship season. The former Premier League champions, who will be playing Championship football again next season, now face a nervous wait as an independent commission reviews their case. The stakes are high. If found guilty, they could be slapped with a points deduction that would seriously impact their promotion hopes. This isn't Leicester's first brush with financial scrutiny. Earlier this season, they actually won a legal battle against the Premier League when they successfully argued that the league couldn't charge them for breaches in 2022-23 since they were playing in the Championship at the time. The Premier League didn't take that defeat lying down. They've since patched up their rulebook to prevent similar loopholes, which is why they're now able to pursue these new charges against Leicester for the 2023-24 season. For Pompey fans keeping score, this means their upcoming Championship matches against Leicester next season could carry even more weight than expected, depending on how this financial drama plays out.
So the ins and outs of these rules that it's alleged Leicester broke are pretty dry, but I'll run through them very quickly because it's good to know. PSR, it's called, restricts Premier League clubs to incurring losses of no more than 105 million over a 3-year reporting cycle. UEFA and the Premier League enforce PSR through financial monitoring and penalties. Certain exemptions, spending on academies, infrastructure and community projects, is generally excluded from profit and sustainability submissions. PSR aims to prevent clubs from accumulating excessive debt and ensure the long-term financial health of the league and its competitions. Potential for changes. There have been discussions about replacing PSR with something called squad cost ratio. Naturally, that's got its own acronym, SCR. And those rules would limit spending on players' wages, transfers and agents' fees to a certain percentage of a club's revenue. PSR has been criticised for limiting the ability of some clubs to spend aggressively on transfers, especially those with lower revenue. So it sounds like it's an attempt to keep football healthy, certainly at the high end of the game where eye-watering sums of money are flying all around, all over the place. Whether it makes for a more level playing field or not depends, I suppose, on whether you are a fat cat moneybags club in the Premier League or the Championship, I guess, or whether you are sort of mid-table, or whether you are the impoverished, in which case it only works for you if moneybags clubs trip up and make a mistake with their accounting. But I've probably got that half wrong, if not entirely wrong, but I tried.